Hi, I'm Shenelle.
And I'm Gennelle, and this is Shenelle and Gennelle, where book talk meets culture.
Where our mission is to share accessible, culturally relevant, and engaging books that may help support your reluctant or struggling readers.
Yep.
And today's book is
The King of Kindergarten. All right, this is another great book.
Yes, so this book is a picture book about a little boy who prepares to get ready to go into kindergarten. The book starts off with him preparing his day, getting up in his room, and then he goes about his day brushing his teeth and getting his clothes together. It's almost like his father is narrating to him what he's going to experience while he's on in his journey throughout his day. Very, very cute book. The book features a little boy of color, and he just has a crown of like glory on him.
Yeah, so it's definitely throughout the book, it's like, I would say almost like metaphor of him going through his day. So like he gets up to the crown, the sun being the crown, he washes his face, he wipes his mouth with all the royals of, he takes the bus to school, which is like his golden chariots. He gets to the kingdom, which is the kindergarten, the palace, and so it's going throughout the whole day, and it just really talks about how he enjoys the day and everything that he does in this first day of kindergarten. It's definitely a Black boy joy book.
Yes. And something that's really lovely about this book is that it affirms to him that he's going to do great. And he's going to do awesome, and everything is going to go really well for him. Like, it's like just giving a child the confidence they need to know, like, you're going into the unknown, but don't worry. You might feel a little challenged, but don't worry. You know why? Because you're the king. You're the king of kindergarten.
Yep.
So everything that you may face or be challenged with, it's not to be worried or stressed, because you're the king of kindergarten.
Yes. And his mom told him to walk in with his head high and with a smile on his face. And he's ready to greet his teachers with that awesome smile. He's excited and bubbly throughout the whole book.
Yes. Another feature of the book that I enjoy is how the illustrator also includes different like character traits that children should have, or different behaviors that children should have throughout kindergarten. So it talks about sharing with friends, the possibility of also taking a nap, like things that are common, that are expectations that may happen
when you go to kindergarten.
Like in one point, the character shares a snack with a friend because a friend didn't have his snack, learning to make new friends. All the things that, children in general would be expected to experience when they go to kindergarten.
Yep, the new rules.
Yes.
All right, so let's go into the ACE. Is this book accessible? So this is a book that is a read aloud, because it is aged for kindergarten. Kindergartners usually don't read. Obviously, some do at this level, but it's full of sight words, and kindergartners would have this book. You would read this book to a kindergarten student.
Yeah. So it's recommended for ages between 3 to 6. And the book is, like Gennelle said, there's a lot of sight words and stuff, but parents can read this book to their kids. I think that's what it's really for. I mean, teachers can do it also, but I feel like this will be a really, really good book for parents to bond with their little boys, to just tell them. Or girls.
Yes.
I mean, I guess you could.
I mean, even if it's the king, it could be the princess of kindergarten.
Okay.
It's just the same rules.
I think it's geared. Yeah, but okay, yeah. So there's so many books for girls too, but this one is for the boys. Okay. He's the king of kindergarten. I think it's a nice bonding book with parents and their sons, just in preparation for kindergarten. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes kindergarten is the first time that children are away from their parents for a period of time. Sometimes they do pre-K, and this would be a great book for pre-K also. So this would be a good way to just help them in that transition process.
When it comes to cultural relevance, definitely there is the main character is a boy of color, but this speaks to all kids who are starting kindergarten or starting school, or entering that experience for the first time. The book does show diversity in characters, even though they're not the main character. So you see the teachers, most of the teachers and staff are represented as Black characters, but the classmates have more diverse depictions in the illustrations.
Yes. Which I thought was very nice.
Yeah, it was very.
Yeah, everyone in your class is not going to necessarily look like you, and the book reflects it in that way.
So
yeah, this book is definitely written to appeal to all little boys. It's not like, oh, this is a black character book that's dealing heavily with a black issue. No, this is just a book about a little boy that happens to be black.
Yep. Yeah. Because if he wasn't illustrated as a black character, it would just be a boy. It would be any boy going to kindergarten.
Which is the beauty of this. I think that sometimes people just need to realize that children of color are just regular kids. Regular kids. They're not any different from any other kid. So it's nice that this book speaks to it that way.
Yes.
And engagement. The language in the book is very very cool. It's written like in second person, affirming the boy right throughout the entire book. The colors and the illustrations are very bright, vibrant, and bold. So I think engaging wise, it's really, really good. And you're like anticipating, what is he going to do next? What more is there to say?
There's a lot to do in kindergarten, apparently. Kindergarten is a whole day event, you know, especially for this little boy. I'm like, he's tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then this one, at least he gets to take a nap. Some kindergartners don't get naps anymore.
Yeah.
I think this book is what I think is great about this book is that this book was written way before the pandemic, right? So things have changed. But it made me think about going back into school. There's going to be so many kids who are now in the first grade who've never experienced kindergarten, right? And who's going to be going in person, and who's going to be going to school for the first time. Like, and before, when we have like, you know, when you had like kindergartners come in, they're like anxious and nervous. So even though this book is titled King of Kindergarten, I feel like even for first graders, it's like who experience the pandemic and remote learning only would benefit from just reading that and getting acclimated. Like, this is what school looks like. This is what you do. Can you, like, that's something like I think for the last year, not that most people took it for granted, but something that hopefully people are thinking about. Like, we have first graders going into school. I even have a second grader who's only been in school. When I knew her in kindergarten, we left in March. So she didn't have a full kindergarten experience, did first grade all remote, and now we're in second grade. So there's a lot of kids who don't have that whole routine of what school should be like. So definitely.
Yeah, so this book is nice to aid that along. Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed reading The King of Kindergarten. But before we wrap this up, we just wanted to mention to you guys about our shirts.
We're gonna twin it. We're twinning it today.
Yes. So this shirt is from Smiles for Speech, which is a nonprofit organization that aids and helps children in
locally and internationally
in developing, or I would say communities. Let's say communities that don't always have access to speech and language therapy. So they help provide that because we believe that communication is a human's right, right? So
if you want to support them, we'll leave information in our description where you can learn more about Smiles for Speech.
Yes.
But until next time,
guys, King of Kindergarten is an ace book.
Bye.
Bye.